Your name again?
Chris Abbott.
Chris, it's good to meet you. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from the Virgin Islands. I'm from St. Croix, and my mother's from Georgia, and my dad's from St. Kitts Nevis, West Indies.
That's nice.
And I moved out here to Portland from Florida looking for work, because the minimum wage in Florida is $8.50. So I had originally went to Seattle, and I was like, all right, let me check out Portland. So that's why.
How'd you end up in Portland from Florida? How'd you get here?
I got out here, I had an ex-girlfriend of mine. She bought me a ticket to Seattle, and I did some work for somebody in Pasco, Washington. And I managed to get the money up to get my Amtrak ticket to come to Portland.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Tell me
Mr.
about
Chad.
yourself.
Well, I love people. I always had like this charisma of independent charisma about myself. Like I had my first business when I was like 10 years old. Yeah, serious business. 10 years old, and when I was in the West Indies, and I was going through that path of getting to know myself. Thank God I had a mom. She used to let me not do whatever I want, but she would let me do whatever I wanted with her rules, in mind, But she could be home a certain time, and I was doing portraits when I was like 5 years old. She was a very educated woman before she got on crack cocaine, you know what I mean? And when the crack epidemic hit, it shook my family. My mom, she sent me to the Virgin Islands to my dad after she had she had her discovery, of her addiction. So I was in the Virgin Islands from when I was like, I was in the St. Kitts from when I was 10 years old to 13, staying with my grandmother. And then I moved to the Virgin Islands when I was like 13, 14 till I was 17. And I moved back to Fort Valley, Georgia, and I landed this travel job, door-to-door sales, when I was like 18. And I started traveling to like Jersey, all these other cities, and it lit a fire in me. I got my GED. I dropped out of school and got my GED in Georgia, because they was holding me back a little bit because I scored so high on the entrance exam, and they were hating on me. I scored higher than like 70-something% of the whole state of Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just, it's been a journey finding myself. And I've had close encounters with God. That's really what's been keeping me alive.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Yeah, close encounters with Jesus. I had most of my like dark parts of my life was influenced by religion. People who didn't know God enough to tell me about God, and that created like this thing in my head that just messed me all up. Like I was so messed up when I was like 17 till I was like 24, when I had an encounter with Jesus, who lit that fire up in me again, and I started getting to know Him personally, and it helped me out to really, make me feel like I can do something with my life, And that it's been a journey ever since. I'm 35 right now, and I just, just took it upon myself to believe in God, my own faith, believe in Jesus with my own faith. I didn't go to churches no more, nothing like that, because I just had so much. It just made me feel so inferior, but I didn't give up on God, and it just stirred up a lot of stuff in me. I got all of these creative ideas, movie writing, art, business ideas, and mainly because I want to help the homeless and help other people who've been victims of a bad ideology of God and Jesus, not preach, but just to like put them in a position where they can see that there's just been people who misrepresented God and Jesus to them, just like how people misrepresented God and Jesus to me, and how it can create like a docility, it can create mental illness, it just messes you all up. I think it's the most dangerous thing on earth is that.
Tell me this, if there's one thing that you want people to know out there, whether it's about you or about life or whatever it is, what would you say?
All right, the homeless. When you meet somebody homeless, they might not be in their right mind or anything like that. Just kind of like respect that. Give them their distance and still love on them. If you're gonna buy something to eat and give it to them, And don't expect them to receive it how you think they would, but just to help keep hope alive for some people, because being out here and being homeless and having people to just really dog you out, look down on you and stuff like that, it can make it so hard. You know what I mean? And you know, they're not keeping themselves up maybe like how you think they should. Just kind of look past that and understand you can make their life worse and make them feel so worse about themselves if you don't at least treat them like a common human being. You know, at least hear what they got to say. Of course, you know, watch yourself, make sure you're safe, but don't mistreat the homeless. Still help them out, still hear what they got to say, because you could drive somebody crazy out here if you mistreat them, man. And they still have to deal with the burden of coming out of that run. You know, so just please be respectful to your homeless in whatever city you're in, or county, or wherever you at. Just say hi to them, and you know, and tell yourself, you know, that they're going through something, and you can make that day so much better just with a real smile, and you know, and speaking with them, man. I thank you, Mr. Chad. Mr. Chad right here is a great guy. You know, I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
And what you're doing is a good thing. This is my main goal, is to help the homeless as soon as possible. I'm not gonna be in my situation much longer, you know, but as soon as possible, I'm gonna be out here, you know, probably in your city and helping the homeless. I promise you, I'm like that.
Good.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I'm
it.
very, very radical when it comes to helping the homeless.
I believe it.
And very unashamed about them too. Yeah.
Good. Do I have permission to post this on the internet?
Yeah, you can post it. You can post it. Yeah.